So what the heck do these high or low scores actually mean? So this is a composite test, and a high score of 10 indicates and suggests that there's adequate range of motion in the joints, and that's in almost every joint in your body, which is one of the things I love about this test is it looks at your toes, your foot, your ankle, your knees, your hips, your low back, and your thoracic spine. And then if we wanted to, we could look at your shoulders through it. Okay, 8 major joints in the body in several planes of motion, right? Front and back, side to side, and turning. That tells us about the mobility in those joints. Okay, it gives you an adequate look at strength against gravity. Okay, our whole lives were spent battling gravity. I can't tell you the number of patients who are so afraid to get up and down off the ground, they refuse to when they first come in my office. I win them over eventually, and when it's safe to do it, we get them to do it. Their strength against gravity, if they believe in themselves, there's a certain psychology there. There's a certain psychology in both directions. I'm helpless if I fall on the ground. There's no way I'm getting up on my own. Versus if I fell or if I had to pick up a grape from underneath the fridge, I could do it. There's tremendous psychological benefit to knowing that you could beat gravity if you had to, right? Another thing that's important is our neuromuscular control. This is the connection that our brain has with every muscle and joint in our body. And because we're human beings, and the beauty of being a human being is that you have memory and perception and meaning behind different movements that you've done throughout your life. If your body perceives this as threatening to do, it's not going to want to do it. It's going to sound every alarm bell in your body to say, don't. This is dangerous. We're going to hurt ourselves. As long as you know that you have no underlying conditions and that you have no physiological reason that you can't or should do this, we can override that safely. And again, that goes to the psychology of like, oh, well, last time I was on the floor, I had broken my knee. I'm not getting up and down off the floor again. And then we have this fully evolved side of our brain that says, well, yeah, that was scary last time, but it's probably a good idea to train this. It's probably a good idea to have this as a skill set in the event that we ever need it. If we do it in a controlled setting, if we do this on our nice cushy floor or our nice cushioned couch, it's probably safe to do. Right? There's nuance to it, and it's extraordinarily important to understand and acknowledge that. We have this neuromuscular control that is our brain communicating with our body, and it is the coolest freaking thing that exists. It's amazing, and it happens without you thinking about it. And the last thing is the coordination that this takes. I've had patients who just are find it really difficult to know where their body is in space. Right? If we ask them to pat their belly and rub their head at the same time, they can't do it. So this works on motor patterns and coordinating. Okay, when my knee is in this position, my hips got to be in this position. And when my ankle's in this position, my shoulders got to be in that position. We coordinate those bigger movements of the body, and it helps train the pathways in our brain and our nerves and our muscles to help us improve the way that we're moving and the quality of the way that we're moving. This test reflects function, not fitness and aesthetics, function. There is such a thing as being overweight, quote unquote, and physically fit. If you watch people who run marathons, you go watch any marathon, there is every shape, size, color, height, you name it, out there running that marathon. You can't tell me that anybody who's trained for a marathon is unfit. They might fit in the obese category, but they are fit people. Okay. And of course, there's nuance to that statement too. But the point is, fitness and health are much better correlated than weight and size and shape and health. Okay. And this is a really functional test. Function matters most of all. I'm a physical therapist. I see every day how folks function in their lives. And like I get little snippets and little stories of moments in people's lives where their function improves and their life gets so much better. I had a patient 2 weeks ago who told me that she only used to drink from a straw because her neck wouldn't go back far enough to tip the water. the cup of water into the rest of her mouth. And she came in a couple weeks ago and she said, I don't have to use a straw anymore. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I used to only drink from a straw because my neck would only flex down. It wouldn't extend back up. Now I can tip the water back into the back of my throat. Like, what? Function matters far more than aesthetics. Okay? Independence. Getting up and down off the floor independently, like I said before, huge psychological effect. I had a patient, another quick story, man who just turned 90, who God bless him and his wife. He worked in the Department of Public Works for 100 years. Okay, and he was operating uh, snow plows and trucks and excavators and the whole thing. And he loved it. He's a jolly guy. He's awesome. You can tell how he moved his entire life when he walks in my door. I love him to death, but he is hunched over. He uses a walker. He used to be 6'4". He's easily 5'8", 5'9" when he's hunched over on that walker. And unfortunately, slash fortunately, he fell out of bed a few weeks ago. And his wife, who's pretty able-bodied, she couldn't get him up. She was going to hurt herself trying. She knew better than to even try. He wasn't getting up. And they ended up calling their son and their son-in-law. And those guys had a hard time getting him up. Right? And those are younger people who might be able to help this guy get up, but couldn't. They ended up calling the squad. They called our local first aid squad. Those guys went over. They know what they're doing. And they were able to help him get up and get back into bed. Now, fortunately, he didn't break anything. Fortunately, there was no catastrophic event that happened. But it just became all the more evident to me that, like, we have to be able to have this skill. There is a certain fear that comes with it. There's a certain embarrassment level that comes with it, right? He was so embarrassed. He didn't even want to admit, I didn't fall out of bed. There's real power in being able to be strong against gravity. That's what this test helps us maintain, right? And there's a confidence that comes with that. There's a confidence in knowing that you're strong in extreme ranges of motion. The other thing I love about this test is it puts you in uncomfortable ranges of motion. People have told me, people have commented online, I can't even get my legs into this position. And again, there's nuance to this of, like, sometimes your anatomy won't let you get into certain positions. It's just your scaffolding. It's your bones. And other times it's because you just haven't done it. If you don't use it, you lose it. So when we talk about function, and you got to watch me on this one. I often explain muscle contraction as fibers slide over each other, right? And when we use a full range of motion, we get as many fibers as we can to overlap with each other, right? And when they overlap with each other under load, they generate tension, and that tension says, hey, we need to be stronger. Can we get more actin and myosin down here? Can we get more resources to be able to lift this load? But that only happens if you train within a full range, a full safe range. I should put it that way. When you get it down in this position and you get up from a deep squat, pick a muscle group. Your quads, your calves, your glutes, your hamstrings, your low back muscles, work in a really big range of motion throughout that range of motion in a coordinated way to get you up, right? That's what these scores really mean. So again, don't take this as a death sentence. Don't take it as the elixir of life. Understand that, like, this is extraordinarily functional and really helpful if you're able to do it. Okay?